Hello everyone. For those who are here, thank you. We welcome you with all our heart. Okay, my name is Carla. For those who don't know me, I'm an education consultant and a program advisor for international programs all over the world, actually, except for a few cities. So with me is Jed, and I'm so honored to have him here with us tonight. And let me just give the floor to you, Jazz, if you could introduce yourself, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Koala. Thank you for having me. It's pretty exciting to be here. When I was doing my application last year, I had no idea that we would end up speaking about the great scholarship, but pretty excited to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Zaid Masud. I am currently pursuing MSc in Strategic Marketing from Cranfield University here in the UK. Um, yeah, it's been almost 7 months now since I started my course, and we can talk more about it in a bit more detail later on. But yeah. Uh, Paula, however, so the floor's back to you. And if you have
Yeah,
any question, either I can talk about where I come from and we can take it from there.
yeah. I mean, the question and answer we can do that at the end, but the
Right.
chat is open. Please try to engage as much as possible. There one question that was just coming up to me was your university campaign is not in this year's list of university. Would you like to add something about that?
Yes, I will. I got to know that, I mean, a few minutes ago when I was going through the approved universities list for the Great Scholarship for this year. And I was surprised to not see Cranfield University over there. But I think the British Council, they keep revising and they keep adjusting the program criteria every year. So while I'm no unsure of the reason behind why Cranfield isn't there anymore, but it's
Yeah,
sad at the same
yeah.
time. I mean, it is what it is.
I think I can add that the scholarship is sponsored by British Council and the UK government, and it's not just for Pakistan, there are other countries as well. So the list update each year. One region that I think is it depends on the priority of the fee that scholars need to take up for their respective industry. That's why Cranfield did not make the list, but your program with a strategic marketing, it is offered by all of the universities in the list. So I think you can just ask people to be on the program website, right? That's how you start your search from
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was also seeing something else, Koala, that India used to be a prominent country and also a Commonwealth country for Great Scholarship. And I think India isn't a recipient of Great Scholarship anymore. Um, so
Oh
that's
no?
also
Okay. Okay.
India isn't there anymore. I think they might have opened up new scholarships for India now, but from what I saw, India isn't there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that I have a feeling that the region is countries keep changing every year, like Ghana or Nigeria. They make it to the list, then they remove some countries and they add. But unfortunately, Pakistan will always be in that list because we need to go abroad there. Okay, Jared, I
Yeah.
will just keep the chat a bit personal for the next 2 minutes. What made you apply for grade? What was your background like? And how do you think this scholarship was a good fit for you?
Right. So, Khala, I come from Sadiqabad, which is a small city in the south of Punjab. It's actually the last city of Punjab, and that's where the Punjab ends, and then Sindh starts. I was born there, I was raised there, I still have my home there. That's where my parents are. To talk a bit about my background, I was pretty bright in terms of my academics, so I did not do O levels and A levels. We have in Sadiqabad predominantly metric and FSC. So I did my metric and I scored really well in my metric examinations and I scored I think 1001 marks out of 1050 with the sixth position in Bahawalpur board. So the kind of area and place that is either you become a doctor or you become an engineer, otherwise you're a
Yeah,
failure in life. So I mean and we are born in that environment. We are raised in an environment where we constantly have that pressure of becoming either a doctor or an engineer. So I also had that pressure, and with that pressure in mind, I did my FSC, and I thought I'll go and become a mechanical engineer. So I gave my
Wow.
ECAT examination, and I studied really hard for it, to the extent that that's the only option I was banking on. So when I went to give my ECAT exam, I could not understand a few questions. The time was running out, and that's where I started to have severe anxiety and panic. And in that situation, I think I messed up my exam. But anyway, I did not do as well as I thought I could. So I ended up getting an admission in telecom engineering at UET Texila. Now,
Okay.
I had never thought of doing telecom engineering. So when I went to UET Texila, which was 16 hours away from my home, I
Yeah.
realized, and I was studying programming. We started off with C hash, and then we went to C++. And when I was studying programming, I realized this is not my
Programming
thing at all.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a knack for it at all. In fact, I failed. I failed in my first semester, and I saw myself failing in the second semester again in programming. And that's when I realized, and I spoke to myself, and I thought to myself, okay, here's a guy who has always been academically bright, and now he's at a university where he's constantly failing, and he's not seeing a future ahead. So has he made a right choice of being or pursuing an engineering degree? And I think I, I, I'll always be thankful to myself for taking that decision of quitting engineering. So I quit engineering, and I came back home with the intention of applying to a mechanical engineering next year. But when I tried to prepare for ECAT again, I still remember I opened my chemistry book from FSC. I got so upset that I burnt that book that I can't do this again. And it was quite a late. It was quite late in the sense that the placement exams for LUMS, for IBA, for NUST were over. So, and someone mentioned out of nowhere that there is a good institute called Institute of Business Administration in Lahore, in Punjab University. It's a pretty decent one. It's
Okay.
not among the top, but it's a pretty decent one, so you should think about it. And well, I thought about it. In fact, not only thought about it, but I also applied for an admission over there, and I got it. When I started pursuing my BBA, that's when I realized, oh, this is something I should have done earlier. And when I studied, I still remember when I read and studied marketing in my third semester, I had another realization that, oh, marketing is what I like, and marketing is what I am naturally good at. So that's how I found my career line, found my career. And I just started working in marketing then. So then I worked for 6 years in Pakistan, 6.5 years actually. Started off from advertising agencies, so worked in some of the top advertising agencies of Pakistan in client servicing. Though the agencies are Red, it's a pretty famous one and a big one in Lahore. Then I moved to BBDO, which is a global advertising agency. I did my internship in Ogilvy, which is also one of the top global advertising agencies. And when I was working at BBDO, I was working on Pepsi Pakistan's digital
Oh,
account. So I was looking at the digital side of Pepsi Pakistan, their Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, everything on the digital front, the campaigns that we were pulling off on the digital front, the ideation that we were doing. um and I well I when I was just doing my job, the client that I was working for kind of liked my work ethic, and at the same time offered me a job at PepsiCo. So that was a big career breakthrough. I mean, to be able to land a job without a master's or without an MBA from LUMS. Well, I did not have an MBA, let alone an MBA from LUMS or IBA, and yet I ended up at PepsiCo was a big deal. um so I was there for 3.5 years, and in the marketing team. And then I moved to, in my last role, I was heading the marketing for one of the startups of Pakistan by name of Khudi Ventures. And we launched Pakistan's first matrimonial app, Dil Ka Rishta, over there.
okay.
And after that, I happened to have
Yeah.
moved to
Yeah.
see.
Can I just add, I'm so glad you didn't go ahead with engineering. Not that, of course, not that it's not a good choice for people, it is, but that finding your calling It's so important. And I think you use the word quitting, that you quit your earlier program, but for me, it was like you divert, you took a break to realize that maybe I can find better academic options for myself. You know,
No,
looking
absolutely.
back, you are in marketing and you are a great scholarship holder from Pakistan, probably the only scholar from Pakistan, right? That's a big
Oh
deal.
wow. Oh wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know I'm the only one. No, absolutely, Kala. A lot of people said that you wasted a year. And I don't think the year got wasted. Honestly, that year in itself gave birth to so many productive years moving forward. That year made me realize that okay, this is not what I want to do. And if you know that what you if you have slightest idea and imagination of what you do not know, that takes you closer to what you can and want to do.
Yeah,
Um, and that one year has been really productive for me. And I've also had a lot of people who have kind of really admired that decision, but I think it came off very naturally to me. If I am someone who is a hard worker, who thrives on success, and I am not thriving, I am well beyond average, then I can't do anything in that environment. So I'll rather exit and do something that I can be good at
yeah,
versus just being doing what I'm not good at. What's the point? So it worked out, and I'm glad. Allah ka shukar hai.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad. Do you remember? Do you remember how your application process was like? Because we have people here, they are applying to the film field. Um, it's okay. I think we can say it's okay if you are struggling to put down the content, because some of the questions for great scholarship is like, let me give a rundown briefly. I'm just giving an example from University of Strathclyde for the general great scholarship. They accept applicants from Bangladesh, Ghana, Kenya, and Pakistan. So you are competing with these four, among these four countries as a Pakistani. The questions are not very long. You do have to be very smart about responding to those. So the first question for great scholarship is like, why do you think you are a good fit for a great scholarship? What makes you a good ambassador? Something like that. The second question is, it's like, they want to know your most proud achievement. It could be any kind of achievement, but generally the question is, what kind of achievement are you proud of? So there's a word count, which is 200 words per question. These two questions, then the final question is obviously, like all scholarship, they want to ask you your future plan, or how this university will help you with your future goals. So these three are actually very common scholarship questions. But handing the floor to you, do you remember how your application was like? Because we are being honest, it's okay to struggle, it's okay to take your time, etc.
Yes, I do remember the process. It was. I wouldn't say it was an easy process. It was a very super reflective process, and the process took about a month from start to exit. Actually, more than a month. Um, and I can't talk about this without talking about you, Khola. So I still remember when we met for the first time. It was quite a long meeting where I shared the
Yeah,
entire story of my life with you, start to end. It was a 3 hours long meeting, and when I wasn't aware that a few things that I had done could really be useful from the scholarship point of view. You were noting those things down, and that really helped with the narrative.
yeah,
Um, and I remember that reflective process is never an easier one. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of time for you to sit with yourself and just to write your story. Because you may think to yourself, okay, this is what I have done, but what's so impressive about it? And I think when someone else or someone outside of your home or your surroundings actually reads what you have done or learns more about your journey, that's when you realize, okay, no, this is significant. So going back to our going back to our application, I think the first step, of course, was to moving in direction with the question, the first step was to pen down all the achievements that I thought I have. Starting from, so for example, in my case, I started off from where I was born to what I thought I will do, which was engineering,
Yeah.
and how it did not work out, and it not working out, and me pivoting to marketing for me was a huge achievement. That's where my application started from. And then I started further building on it and talk more about my achievements in terms of where I worked, the things that I have done. From a scholarship point of view, we also discussed how working in the latest startup where I was heading the marketing and launching a matrimonial app is a significant point uh, because of the social issues that the app was solving. So, for example, for everybody's context, in my last startup, we launched Pakistan's first matrimonial app, and the reason why app was launched was because we have the highest deaf community in Pakistan, close to 70%. We have the highest number of cousin marriages in Pakistan, also close to 70%. And while people get married within their families, because that's the easier and the most reliable solution to them, they don't realize the genetic issues that follow because of those marriages. People do not have awareness on that front. They have no idea on that front. So, and they get married within families because they don't know people outside of their families.
Yeah.
So the app was solving and bridging this huge gap by helping people find relevant partners as per their requirements. It could be someone that you're looking, I mean, whoever it is that you're looking.
Yeah.
Now, from a scholarship point of view, we also discussed that this is an important social agenda that we should bring forward in the scholarship, and we did. Um, so overall, uh, I would say it was quite a reflective process. And when you start, of course, the your draft is, well, you wouldn't want to read it again. But towards the end, it's so
Yeah,
towards the end, it's so
I remember your first draft, like all drafts are supposed to be. It was very chitty, but that's what I loved about it. It's supposed to be chitty, and that's how you go from there. And I was like, okay, ये नहीं कर पाएगा.
No,
Yeah.
I've never done, honestly, Kala, I've never done scholarships before. I've never applied to any scholarship. And that's one thing that I learned from applying to this scholarship is the difficult route or a route. And not many take because you feel there's a lot of effort involved, but I think everyone should take the scholarship route. Apart from receiving funding for what you're pursuing in life, the whole process is really rewarding and reflective.
Yeah.
And you get to learn a lot more about yourself when you're writing about yourself and what you have done that otherwise you don't. So I would definitely encourage everyone to definitely look for scholarships and just go through this process. Similarly, I mean, just like you're moving abroad and going through that process, which is even a bigger process, and we'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, the process took a month and a half from starting to end. The application, in terms of length, wasn't huge. Do you remember, Kola? We had crafted an application, but then when I was uploading on the portal, it said something on the character limit.
Yeah.
So
That
in
is
the
a very
last
good
moment,
reminder. My God, my God. Then let me just tell you why it happened. So when you are applying for an application online, you make an account on the portal. It could be your program application or your scholarship application. If the website says that there is a word count of 200 words per question, please try to be smart. What you can do is complete your application on a Word document first, but before you submit or when you are drafting your statement of purpose, you have to make an account on the portal you are applying to and do a dummy test. Dummy test is like the portal actually has a software of its own. Because of the software, there is some kind of back-end coding which does not match the character or the word count or the Word document. I think I'm explaining this clearly. There is going to be a mismatch between the online portal and your Word document. So if you have written 200 words, like it happened with us, we had completed a 200 word response to one question. When we copy pasted this on the Great Scholarship application form, we realized that we were actually over 150 words. And in that last minute, because we were running out of time, it happened. But even like we were working on the deadline date in the last minute, we had to cut down, chop off as many elements as possible. So it was a very exciting moment, I remember.
No, there are multiple lessons from this. So never ever upload or submit your application on the last day. Never do that. Lesson number one. Lesson number two. Paula, I was actually surprised, and I reached out to university and told them this is messed up. This is a major blunder because outside so for everyone's greater context and understanding, when I visited the page of Great Scholarship for my university, it said that, let's assume it said that you can submit a scholarship application worth 500 words. When I went in, created an account, submitted my application, it said only 2000 characters are allowed. Now,
Yeah,
2000 characters translate to probably 150 200 words. So we are talking about cutting down 300 words from your application, and that's huge.
yeah.
So, 200 or 300 words, that's huge because it's very difficult to say the same thing with the same impact in fewer, shorter words. And especially if you're working on the last day, it could be a nightmare.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we pulled through.
Yeah, I mean, we have a time zone difference with UK and your home country, Pakistan. We had that time zone difference, but I would actually not really blame the portal, but dummy test is important. Just do a dummy test, copy paste any body of text in your online portal. See what exactly the character count coming to. Like you just copy paste that the meter is like any kind of test, just put it there, just to test the portal. You copy paste that and put that in Word document, then you highlight all and check the word count because portals are based on character count, not word count. That's where the difference comes up. And yes, Jared is right. 200 words per question is already very less, and when you have to further chop down, we actually ran the risk of removing important achievement that we wanted to keep in. So what we did, I
100%.
mean, if that happened, well, someone who is a professional, they will be able to edit your content without reducing the importance of your response or the thing you want to talk about. Because it takes a very actually high level editor to cut down your content when you want to keep the important thing.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So
Also,
I
one
think,
thing
yeah.
that I would like to talk about. I don't know if it might help someone. The scholarship had multiple aspects. So, for example, your key achievements, how will, and then the other important aspect was how will, and I think that's fundamental to any scholarship. That getting this, how will this scholarship help you with your future goals?
Yeah.
Now, future goals have to be somehow linked to the communal goals. And it possibly can be personal goals because that's how scholarships work. So, in my case, uh, I I honestly did not have any such communal goal affiliated. This scholarship did not require me to come back to Pakistan. So and especially if you're pursuing a master's degree, which is not and marketing is not a social issue or concerns with social issues in on a broader scale. So I did not have an end objective of helping communities in some shape or form. Now, that's a separate discussion if I should or shouldn't have. But from a scholarship's point of view, I needed to focus on that aspect. So, so I'm someone who pursued his bachelor's in marketing, worked in marketing for 6 7 years, and then pursuing master's degree in marketing. So it made sense for me to have um, marketing agency Um, and that's how I did my application. I talked about how I will have a marketing agency, or I'll become an entrepreneur by opening my own agency, and then I'll help the ethnic minority, especially that of Muslims in the UK, and just help raise their voice on a broader scale. Was the broad vision behind why and how this scholarship will help me and the society as large. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
bring that out to help anyone who may get.
yeah. I think I want to help people clarify that when you are writing your future goals, it's okay if you're not able to see that picture, that what can you do with your postgraduate goals. I mean, after your master, what you can do, because your master is for the future. It's something you need to do in the future. You can see that now, but not exactly coming up with a fake plan or a fake proposal which does not seem like in line with your current ambition or your current work. Like Jill, you have mentioned you have been in the marketing field for a long while. 6 to 7 years is actually very long to have a very good understanding of. Yet our country focus on marketing on a very limited framework, but globally, marketing is used as the only social static to solve some of the world's biggest problems. Nowadays,
Right.
nowadays we have this whole global movement going on for Palestinians. Marketing is where it is
Right.
helping. So
Right.
we need actually I will encourage applicants if you are applying for great scholarship, please read up what the scholarship is about. What do they expect from the future scholar? So think about your community like you did. If you are from engineering or medical background or any of this, think about how your current pain is going to be in the future because that's how you make a plan. But please try to make your plan very realistically as possible. That if someone reads your plan, it does not seem out of the ordinary. It has to be realistic. And by realistic, I think I can just give you an example here. If you are in engineering and you have been working as an engineer for a company in Pakistan, but that company is not focused on green energy or climate changes, they are not focused on that. They do not care about sustainable goals, United Nations sustainable goals. So for you, it's an advantage that with this master's program from UK, this whole program is heavily investing in developing leaders in green energy or climate change activists. So you can use the power of this master's program to change the kind of way companies operate or think about green energy. This is a very simple idea for what can you do with your master's here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so I think we can open the floor. Anyone who is here, we are accepting questions. If you are applying, let us know what your questions are and we will take them up. You can unmute yourself or raise your hand. I think let me just change the view here. Okay. Right. So we are accepting questions. You can ask them in the chat or you can raise your hand and you can unmute you. Okay, Abdullah, yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Khawla and Sir Zaid Masud. I'm Abdullah Hayat Khan from Noshera KPK, and it's really nice to hear your story. And definitely, it's my first time interacting with Ms. Khawla, though I have seen her post from the past 2 years on LinkedIn. And as I graduated in 2020, and since then I started working with construction industries and for the past 3 years, and currently I'm working as education counselor, which is not very relevant to my engineering degree, but because of the job crisis in Pakistan, someone has to do for the living purposes. So I'm continuously applying for scholarships for the past 3 years. And though in few scholarships I made it to the very final stages, but uh, you know what, there are at some stages there are final interviews. So my question is that, is there any kind of interview in Great Scholarship? Secondly, as I came across Great Scholarship this year, and I almost searched all the universities where Great Scholarship is offering for Pakistan specifically. So I have applied to almost all those universities and secured conditional and unconditional offer letters. And now I'm working on writing my answers for those for the Great Scholarship. So uh, can we apply to multiple great scholarship universities, or we have to consider just one? And my third question is that whether we can if I'm applying for construction management, so it is offered in the 3 or 4 universities, so I can submit the same answers to all the universities, or uh, like should I make different answers for each university?
Okay. I think we forgot your first question.
If interview is required.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Abdullah. Wonderful to speak to you, and Walaikum Salam. I can answer the first one. Interview for grade, I don't think it's required because I wasn't interviewed. I just sent in my application. And grade is by the way, grade is a joint venture of British Council and the prospective university. So it's a scholarship worth £10,000. So 5,000 of it will come from the university and 5,000 will come from the British Council. At least that's how it went in my university. And there was no interview. I wasn't interviewed. There was no interview required. So Khala, I think can answer the second question.
Yeah, there's no interview. You focus on your application and they made the selection from there. And the second question was if they can apply to, I think that was the third question, but they are more related to each other. Yes, you can apply to multiple scholarships at multiple universities. That's up to you how many great scholarship applications you want to send to your relevant program. Please make sure it's relevant. You're not just purpose spraying, you're not applying everywhere to maximize your chances. I mean, it happens. People want to maximize their chances, but be sure your programs are relevant to the great scholarship and you can actually apply with a very strong statement of purpose. And also, another question was, can the content of those statements be similar? Yes, you can. I mean, you do have to tweak the content of your statement per program because every program is actually a bit different from each other. You have to make sure your reading of the program, their subject, their internship, professor background, anything. But because the questions of the great scholarship is particular for the great scholarship. They are asking about your achievements, they are asking about your future goals to make sure your content is not just copy pasted. You are actually spending time making sure your response is targeted to the scholarship at that university. So, Abdullah, did you have any other question after this?
Well, thank you so much for clarifying all these my concerns. I also have another question. GRADE is an external scholarship, though when we apply to the UK universities, they offer partial scholarships to all the international students as well, and it's automatically included in the offer letter. So some of the universities offer £2,500, some offer even up to £6,500. So is it like if a student get that scholarship, which is automatically for all international applicants, so and then also get selected for the great scholarship, so those will be there will be a net amount of some kind of scholarship, like reduction in the fee, or one or a student have to opt for just one choice?
I can answer this question. Abdullah, so from what I understand, not every university in the UK will offer you a scholarship. For example, my university did not explicitly offer me any scholarship with the offer letter. That's one. Two, I can speak about my university, which is Cranfield University. Here, the Great Scholarship is a joint venture of university and the British Council. So if the Great Scholarship is of overall 10,000 amount, 10,000 pounds, 5,000 was coming from the university and 5,000 was coming from the British Council. Now, in my case, I did secure a scholarship prior to landing Great Scholarship. I did secure a scholarship from the course director of my university, which was of 4,450 pounds. So when I got the Great Scholarship, they told me that it cannot be of 10,000 pounds because university has already paid certain amount to me. So they paid me the remaining amount, which was 5,500 pounds. Now, having said that, I don't know if that's the same criteria in other universities, but I am assuming it is since it's a joint venture. So if and building onto that narrative further, if university has offered you some kind of a scholarship with your offer letter, then there are chances that you do not get the full amount for the Great Scholarship.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries. Kola, we can't hear you.
I'm so sorry about that. So the scholarship is for you if you can finance the other half of your tuition if you are applying, but because the scholarship is going to offer you £10,000, which is split between British Council and your university. What exact amount is that is there? But then you also receive your Cranfield award as well. That came at a good time for you because you were able to finance your program. I know it with very great difficulty, but can you just be honest that UK is expensive. You do have to factor in your finance here. Anything you can add here?
100%. UK, well, I had reasons behind moving to UK. I had been considering moving out of Pakistan for the past 3 years. And the amount of money I've invested on my degree, I could have gone to Australia, US, Canada easily into decent universities.
Yes.
But it wasn't my priority because the proximity to Pakistan is a huge factor for me. I did not want to move to a country which is too far away from Pakistan, where I can't come back to Pakistan every year. Because for me, being able to meet my family twice a year, if well, once a year, if not twice a year, is paramount. So that's the rationale behind why I opted UK. As simple as that. Now, UK is definitely expensive. The cost of living is higher. Um, but of course, it's not. I haven't been to other countries like US or Canada, but then UK certainly has higher cost of living. But then with high cost of living comes a certain lifestyle as well. I haven't graduated yet. I haven't landed a job. I haven't gone into that lifestyle to comment on how much am I saving, how's the lifestyle, and then I draw comparisons with other countries. But for me, I think I'm gonna be content because I'm generally not someone who needs a lot of money in life because I feel with more money comes more challenges as well. So I think UK is gonna be fine for us. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but then funding degree is definitely a challenge. In my case, I would say I was brave enough to take a student loan and funded my degree. And my loan is a huge one. So of course, scholarship only covers probably 33% of my degree.
Okay.
The remaining amount is something that I'm funding via loan, and that's also a major investment and also a commitment. but I think it will inshallah work out, and I see it working out now. But of course, I mean, with the economic situation in Pakistan worsening, unfortunately, every passing month, the rate of pound and dollars are going up, which means the international education is only going to be expensive. It's not going to come down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would add something here. It's the without I haven't graduated yet, but I'll still say this. It's the best investment one can make on oneself. Um, it's been 7 months since I've come here, actually now 8 months. And the journey so far has been transformational on so many fronts. And let's talk about where transformation comes from. Transformation essentially comes when you're not in your comfort zone. When you're not settled, you're not in your comfort zone. That means that you are actually going through extraordinary or abnormal situations that you otherwise did not. Now, when you're going through that extraordinary situation, you are certainly growing, while you may not realize it at that moment. So I feel I'm growing at an unprecedented pace. I feel I'm learning a lot of new stuff, and above all, getting to know myself a lot more. I'm understanding what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, who am I as a person, which is a constant journey, honestly. So I feel the journey is extremely rewarding. You are exposed to people from multiple countries,
Yeah.
multiple cultures. Um, and then you're not in your home country, you're not in your hometown, so you have to make a name for yourself. I still remember before my first class started, I was quite concerned that, well, by the way, I'm the only Pakistani in my batch. So, so I'm the only Pakistani, and they're I can't hear you again, Hola. So,
I don't know why I'm mute myself here. Okay, so you have that badge of honor as being the only Pakistani that is your co-host
yeah,
now. That is great.
no, it has now pros and cons. The pro is that it's easier to stand out. The con is you have a huge responsibility on your shoulder. Um,
Yeah.
so so you have to be a bit more cautious on how you're carrying yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but I still remember, prior to moving here, prior to coming here, and before my first class started, I had a lot of concerns on how am I going to stand out? How am I going to make a name for myself in this heavily diverse country and also a university and also a class. But I think looking back, it turned out all right. I think it turned out more than all right. I have somehow managed to make a name for myself, and that's I think that's because of one being putting extraordinary effort at what you do, two just getting yourself involved in other activities, um, and just trying to make the most out of the resources that a university can offer you. It will, I think, automatically give you the visibility you need to move forward. So yes, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you took up a challenge while knowing the pro and cons. You were aware that I'm in for a very difficult ride of my life, but it will definitely be transformative and it's happening and moving forward. You have so much to know about a new country law, state sponsorship, visas, what kind of job you can hold down. So I agree that whatever you have done so far, I agree with that. It was not easy, but I'm hopeful it will be worth it because
Inshallah.
you are right that growth happens in very challenging circumstances. So I'm glad you didn't back down when some of the time you thought about coming back, but I'm glad you didn't.
No, I think the thoughts are there, always there. Honestly, I worked for 6 years. I was quite settled. I got married a year ago, so both of us were working. Our joint income was pretty decent, living in a big home in Lahore, a
Yeah.
home of a canal, two people. Um, and that lifestyle was achieved over the course of 6 years gradually. And then letting it all go, starting from scratch, moving to a small place in the UK. Um, and honestly, restarting requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of persistence and dedication, to be very honest and frank with you, because again, nothing is in your favor initially, and you have to make everything work out within a span of 1 year. And I wouldn't say that it's easy, and it does come with a lot of doubt, honestly. You question, you think, okay, am I gonna be able to do it?
Yeah.
You do think that मुझे क्या पड़ी थी, मैं क्यों आ गया? I had a great life back home.
Yeah.
Why did I do? You have all kind of thoughts when you're going through a rough time, but then you go back and think, why did I do what I did in the first place? Um, and why do I need to keep doing it? So you kind of gather that courage somehow, and then you stay at it. And especially for marketeers, Koala, it's even more difficult. So and it's easy for an engineer to settle here and land a role or land a job versus a marketeer, because marketing is a very cultural centric job, right? The fundamental job of a marketeer is to sell, is
Yeah.
to market the product, right? And for you to market the product, you have to know who you're marketing to. So if you have to really know the consumer, you have to really know the audience. And we have just moved from another country, so we don't understand the consumer of this country, their culture, their trends. What do they like? What do they dislike? How do they speak to each other? What do they generally do in their life? So for a marketer, I think it's even a
Yeah.
bigger struggle,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping even a bigger reward.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it will work out for you. Hopefully, building your network will take time. You are building your network now, but the stronger your connection in your community, on your campus, including your campus financial officers, just build a good relationship with them, have some kind of life support around you. That helps a lot. And I think we can go on and on, but we do have two questions before we wrap up. So one of
Right.
them is asking the GPA matter. I think the GPA is just for the university you are applying to. You have to fulfill the entry requirements for that. So in UK undergraduate system, the class system is broken down into first class to one to two. So they accept anything from two one to upper class. You can be eligible for actually a lot of programs. So great scholarship is not looking for academic requirements. That is the requirement for your university. Okay, we have another people. Raj, I will come to you in a minute. I want to talk about Rebecca's question regarding the scholarship question. Can we use the same activity incident to answer two questions, or is it better to use different examples? Will you be able to respond to that?
I'm just reading the question. Can we use the same? Well, it depends. What's the name? Sorry.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah,
Romesha.
yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. So I think it totally depends on what the question is. But quoting the same incident in two questions would make it redundant. So without further knowing the context, I would say that I think you should come up with a different example, because I'm sure the scholarship has fewer questions. They're probably primarily asking three or more four questions at max. So it would be, I think, a great idea to involve different examples and answer those questions, because I'm assuming those questions would be different from each other. So that's my take on this one.
Yeah. I think there are not many questions, so just respond to the question asked. Actually, you do not want to add anything where it's not relevant to the question. Make sure you read the question prompt very carefully, because I think make sure you joined a bit late, but this webinar is recorded. We actually talk about all the common questions for the Great Scholarship, and apart from one question, which is the second one, any achievement you are proud of, anything that your accomplishment, you give as many examples as possible, provided you meet the word count. Okay, handing the floor to you, Awais Kazmi. Yes, we are looking at your questions now. Hello, Awais. You can hear us now. Okay, so you will come back. I think let me just leaving my message here. I think you're on mute. Okay, Jel, if you would like to add any
Hello.
panel advice or anything.
I think we can hear about it.
Hello.
We can hear about it.
Oh, okay.
Now you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, yes.
Huh. Actually, I got admitted into Aston University, UK, for the smart manufacturing course. Okay, the criteria for great scholarship there is that they have asked to submit a 2-minute video addressing two questions.
Mm,
Okay, the
okay.
first question is how. Yeah, the first question is how it would boost your future career, and the second is how would you promote Aston University in Pakistan. Okay, it's a bit different from essay based submissions. So do you have an idea, how should I go for it?
Awais, are you sure it's great scholarship? Because the great scholarship would, I don't, well, I'm surprised that great scholarship is asking you to promote a particular university in Pakistan.
uh, yeah, it's surprising. It's different from other universities, but they have made this criteria.
Do you
Wow.
want to share the link of the scholarship portal so we may
Yeah.
read more on it? It's so
Are you sure
surprising.
Yeah,
you're on the
let
Pakistani website?
okay, let me.
Okay. Okay, we will check that. Okay. Does that mean there is no written response? Is everything video based? Maybe just a 2 minute video recording or anything, but the scholarship has to be written. Like the application is written, you have to write the answers there. But we are very curious. We have to double check the link with you here. Okay, so while he's looking for the link, I'm not saying that video-based application is uncommon. No, it's
Okay,
common.
I'm searching for that. I will share.
Yeah, you take your time. Yeah, you take your time. We will come back to you in a minute. Okay. I will have to ask you to lower your hand here. Okay. So I think video-based is just like a 2 minute recording because they want to check your communication skills here. They want to see you before they make the final recommendation for a scholarship. But if that happens, you have to have an outline or a script of what you are going to talk about in the video. You actually have to kind of not really memorize your answer because you have to appear natural there, but you have to respond to the question exactly the same way if this was a written application. If this was in writing, you have to respond the same way. But you do have to communicate that show your action on your face, your body language, record yourself, practice as many times, and then submit the final version of that. But Jay is a marketer. He can add some pointers for video-based marketing here.
No, I recently came across a tool that I can recommend for iOS. It's Doodle.ai. I can share the link in the chat. It's a
Okay.
tool which is great for practicing for interviews or also when you are recording videos for yourself. So basically what the tool does is that you record a particular answer to a question and it helps you analyze and it gives feedback on how you were doing and how you were perceived. So it gives great feedback. So if, for example, if he is recording a video for a great scholarship, he can record that video on that website and the website will give him feedback on how his gestures need to improve, how his facial expressions need to improve, how he's coming across as a person. And I think that can help him. It's udl.ai, YWDLE.ai or
Yeah, you
something
can
like that.
add in the chat. Okay. We have the link from Everest. I'm just checking for Pakistan going down. There's an application form here. Okay, as part of the application, you will also be required to create a 2 minute video. So that's what we were saying. I thought it's just a video-based application.
Right. So there's video on top of the
Yeah, let me
application.
just share the screen here. You will have someone reading along that so I'm on this link, which is for Aston University, and this is the Pakistan side, India, Pakistan, Vietnam, all right, going down. This is for 2024. Here, we're going down to Pakistan. There's an application form. I'm clicking on that. It will lead me to another screen here. This is actually an online platform. Remember, for those who are joining late, let me just remind you. Please write your response in a Word document first, and then you copy paste. But be careful about the character and the word count. Do a dummy test first, because there is a difference between the online form, online portal limit word count, and your Word document count. You actually have to check and do a dummy test before. Dummy test is like just be sure the character count is not coming more or less than the one on your Word document, because there comes a difference. Okay, so you complete this form and going back. It says, as part of the application, you do have to create a 2-minute video responding to the following 2 questions. How will studying this master improve your future career, and how will you promote Aston University in Pakistan? You upload your video to YouTube. You can use any other tool here if YouTube only, and you share the link for YouTube. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. I don't find anything difficult with that, but respond to this question. You can make your recording on any online tool. You save the video, download the video, and upload it on YouTube. That's the thing here. Okay, you have a deadline till 24th May. Your application will be assessed based on this video submission. It's a numerous video, but it's the most important part of the application. Wow.
Yes, and I'm honestly surprised at this one. Not only there is a video, but they're talking about how will the applicant promote this university in Pakistan, Aston University. That's surprising.
It's surprising. I think it's also very kind of big traditional, but they may have a reason for that. But it's not just for Pakistani. आप पाकिस्तानियों की परेशानी ले रहे हो, वियतनाम वाले सिर्फ 1 minute वीडियो बना के भेजते हैं। 1 minute में खुल है। Introduce yourself and why you apply for Aston. This is for Vietnam. Alright, I'm checking for India. By the way, Indian applicants are eligible as well. Okay. You need to create a 1 minute video here. Right. Okay. Right. Just 2 minutes is actually a good time frame, because the more you practice, you will learn how to be concise with your words. You're not rambling on. You do have to practice a little bit here. Okay, thank you, Abel. This was a very good surprise for us. We are glad we got this. Yeah. You never know what's coming up. Okay. Okay, Jed has shared the link for the tool. It's called Udall.ai or something like that. Okay, you can Google that. Okay. Ramesh, I have a question. That the good thing is perhaps they can see how passionate you are in the video. Yes. As a writer, I struggle with showing that. That could be a good thing. Yes. People are different kinds of learners. There are different kinds of communicators. I think I'm not good with communicating on video as much as I'm in writing. People will probably disagree with that, but my writing skills are stronger than my speaking skills. Okay.
And I would add something here, Abhay. This is for you. I recently had a chance to record my elevator pitch at university. So I had to write down my story and then go in a studio where to record. And I struggled with it big time when I was recording, because when I was looking at my expressions, then I wasn't able to focus on what I have to say. And when I focused on what I'm saying, then my expressions were totally bland and they were not exciting.
Yeah.
So when you are recording your video, and I was doing that after practicing for at least 40 minutes by looking at myself in the mirror. Even after that, I struggled. So give yourself ample time before you record a video. And this should be well within the deadline, because it might take you more than one attempt. It will definitely take you more than one attempt to record a video that you're comfortable with and then send it over.
Yeah. And I think if I can find detailed instructions for the video, I can give more advice. Listen, kabhi they actually write it very explicitly that you cannot edit your video. कभी कभी लिखा होता है लेकिन इसमें नहीं लिखा तो
Right.
I think it should be okay. Editing में क्या होता है कि if they did a 2 minute video or even after recording yourself to do a panel submission, अगर आपको लगता है कि या एक छोटी सी मिस्टेक हो गई है अब थोड़ा दोबारा से रिकॉर्ड करना है तो आप उन 2 वीडियोस को एडिट भी कर सकते हैं और एडिट करके
Right.
एक वीडियो बना के उसको यूट्यूब पे डाल दो लेकिन इसमें
Right.
एडिटिंग का कोई रूल नहीं है वरना स्पेसिफिकली लिखा होता है कि यू कैन एडिट
It
लेकिन
has to be a one take. Right.
So I think we have an ice cream wala going on in my screen. That's why you hear the background noise. Do you
No,
miss
I can't
that?
believe it.
Yeah. Do you miss that? All the extra people around you?
No, I do. I think everyone does. Home
Yeah.
is home. Pakistan, Pakistan, the home, and home is always gonna be home. So there are so many things that you miss. But
Right.
honestly, kabhi you're so involved in what you are doing that you don't have time to entertain how much you're missing something.
Yeah.
So
Right. So, okay, I'm glad we all have people come in here. If you have any other questions, please feel free to connect with us on our LinkedIn or in my Facebook group or any of our social media. You can connect with Jared if he's okay with people reaching out to him for any
no,
last minute
please feel
query.
free. Absolutely. Please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be absolutely happy to help. I can also share my LinkedIn here just
Yeah.
in case anyone needs.
Okay. So we have that here. Okay. Many people are being very proactive. I like that about I see that a hallmark of I'm very committed scholar. They are very invested mentally. They are trained, organized. They are struggling. They are trying to work on the English language because writing your statement it's actually a very different game. I mean, I will struggle definitely what to write in my application. It's a very natural process. Okay, so I just want to remind you that your first draft will always be bad. It will be poorly written because that's how it will be. It will be bad. It will be chitty. If it's not chitty, if it's fine looking from the beginning, then you are making a fundamental mistake here.
Absolutely. I think it's a very it's not an easy process, but it's a rewarding process, I would say.
Yeah, right. So we would like to wrap up and Jared, we all wish you the best of luck for your career goal and hopefully I will also help you build your network in the UK. I can do that hopefully. And thank you everyone for being with us. We can now plan to leave and head out. Thank you, Jared. Your insights were very helpful.
Thank you so much, Paula, for having me. It was great. It was great talking to you, answering some of the questions, and please feel free to anyone who's listening to reach out if I can help in any way. And Paula, thanks once again. You are a part of my journey, and you will be, and will
Oh.
stay.
Well, I think people will be wondering if you do need some kind of support when you are writing your application, and that support can look different for everyone. It's okay to reach out, get a professional review. It's okay to tell I'm not good at this. How can I get better? Something like that. I think it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think reaching out for help and being open about your weaknesses is always a good idea. It's always a good idea.
Well, thank you everyone, and I'm glad we had this. Okay, take care.